we're going to be dealing with, or another, we're going to be discussing accounting basics things or principles, which is one of them, which is accounting equation. Accounting equation, whereas you remember it says assets is equal to owner's equity plus liabilities. Assets is equal to owner's equity plus liabilities. That is accounting equation. So when we start by assets, remember our assets in terms of the accounting equation, our assets decreases on the credit side and increases on which side? On the debit side, meaning this side we have plus, and then on our debit side, and then we have minus on our credit side. Then what it means, our asset is being increased on the debit side. On the debit side, then what increases our asset? It is what? Cash receipts journal. Whenever we have received something, or another, whenever someone have deposited an amount of money to the business, that is an asset which is on our debit side. It increases. And then what decreases this thing? It being decreased by cash payment journal. Whenever we are taking money, or another, we are paying someone using a bank, meaning our assets as the business decreases on which side? On the credit side, meaning this is an unfavorable balance. This is an unfavorable balance. This is a favorable bank balance, or another, this is a favorable balance, and then this is an unfavorable balance in terms of the asset. Then we have owner's equity. Owner's equity, it's what belongs to the owner. Owner's equity, what does the owner wealth to the business? Remember, between these two, there is a GAAP principle which is being followed, GAAP principle, which is money, and business entity rule. What does the business entity rule says? The financial affairs of the business must be kept separate from the financial affairs of the owner. Financial affairs of the business must be kept separate from the financial affairs of the owner. That is business entity rule. So this is our credit side, this is our debit side. So this account, another, our owner's equity increases on the credit side and decreases on the debit side. So it means it does the opposite of what is being done by the asset, which is, this is in accounting. So this is a double entry principle. Remember, double entry principle is very much more important. A double entry principle is very much more important. What it says, it says account debited must also be the account that will be credited. Account debited must also be the account that will be credited. Meaning, for every debit entry, there must be an equal and corresponding credit entry. For every debit entry, there must be an equal and corresponding credit entry. What is that? It is a double entry principle, which is mostly being applicable here, and which is mostly being applicable whenever we're doing ledger accounts in accounting. Right. Then what increases our owner's equity? Our owner's equity is being increased by our incomes. Whenever we are receiving an amount of money, another rent income, commission income, fee income. So those are the income, bad debt recovered, though discount received, those are incomes, which is they increase our owner's equity. Then what decreases our owner's equity? They're being decreased by what? By expenses. Whenever we are paying some expenses, such as what? Such as telephone, insurance, water and electricity, those are what? Those are our expenses. You get my point? So every time when you think of owner's equity, think of incomes and expenses. Our incomes and expenses are owner's equity, and then incomes increase the owner's equity, and expenses decrease the owner's equity. Then liabilities. Liability, it's what we have to pay. It's what we have to pay as the business. We have to pay this amount of money. So in terms of this, we have a credit side here, and then we have a debit side there. Then our liabilities are what are increasing on this side and decreasing on this side, which is on the debit side. Our liabilities decreases, and then on the credit side, our liabilities increases. So meaning every time in terms of the accounting equation, we can compare in terms of the double-ended principle, we can compare liabilities with what? With assets, but we can never compare liabilities with owner's equity, because they does the very same thing. They increase on them, credit side, both of them, they increase on the same side, which is the double-ended principle can never be applicable when it comes to liabilities and owner's equity. But it can be applicable. For instance, let's say we have borrowed 500,000 from Absa Bank. 500,000 from Absa Bank, that is a loan, meaning our liabilities are what? Are increasing by 500,000. That's right? Our liabilities are increasing by 500,000. So we have to put that on the debit, on the credit side, as 2 plus, because they are increasing. And then that amount of money, which is 500,000, was deposited